You ever hear your own death get wished for and live to sit through the silence that follows? It was early morning. I was walking past the kitchen to make tea, quiet as I always am, and that's when I heard it. Honestly, it's better if she just died. At least then we wouldn't have to keep pretending. They didn't know I was standing there. Maybe they didn't care. But those words didn't hang in the air. They carved into it, deep like a knife. I didn't say anything. Just turned around, went back to my room, and shut the door soft enough not to stir suspicion. I wasn't always this tolerated. There was a time my presence meant something. Back when my husband was alive, we were the glue that held the whole damn family together. Holidays were loud, birthdays were full. There was laughter, not always harmony, but warmth, real warmth. And then he passed. And then my son passed, just a few years later. He was my only child, my only real anchor. After that, I was no longer the center. I was the leftover, forced to live with family who saw me as nothing but a burden. A reminder of things they wanted to forget. I stopped being grandma and became her, the one they had to pick up for gatherings, the one who asked questions twice, the one who forgot where she left the salt. Suddenly, I took up too much space. I tried to adjust, to be smaller, to take up less air. I stopped asking to sit in the front seat. I packed my own snacks. I even learned to fake laugh at jokes I didn't understand just to stay included. But no matter how much I bent, it was never enough. They started saying things like, "She's getting worse," or "She doesn't remember things." They'd speak like I wasn't in the room, like I was already fading into wallpaper. But I remembered. I remembered every casserole baked for birthdays, every Christmas gift that scraped the last of my pension, every time I babysat with an aching back and no thanks, every time I swallowed hurt, because that's just how family is. They treated me like I was an obligation they didn't ask for, like I'd lived too long and worn out my welcome. And to be honest, sometimes I wished I'd vanish from this earth like my husband and my son, but I knew it wasn't what they would have wanted. Each day, the ache of missing them seemed more intense. I often reflected on how life had been and how it was now. How happy I'd been at one point in my life, all for it to just vanish within the blink of an eye. But there was still life left to live, so I made a decision. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I didn't wait for a better day or a grand exit. One morning, before anyone woke, I packed a single suitcase, just enough for me. I took my ID, some cash I'd saved secretly, and the small wooden box with photos of my husband and son. That was all I needed. I left a note on the kitchen table. Not dramatic, just true. You don't have to pretend anymore. I've heard enough. I'll find my peace where I'm not treated like a ghost. 6 months passed. I live in a small room above a flower shop now. The owner's a quiet woman who never asks questions. I water the plants in the mornings, sit by the window in the afternoons. Some days are lonely, but none are cruel. No one sighs when I enter a room. No one forgets to count me when setting the table. Peace didn't come like a sunrise. It came like rain after a drought. Slow, hesitant, but enough to soften something in me. I'm not anyone's burden here. No one whispers in the next room hoping I'll vanish. And sometimes, when I pass a mirror, I say it out loud, just to take the sting out of it. It's better if she just died. Then I laugh, because they were wrong. I didn't die. I left, and that made all the difference. I'm happier than I was with family who treated me like nothing. And as the days drag on by, I'm more at peace, knowing I'll be seeing my husband and son soon.